Welcome into another edition of the Gator Nation Football Podcast Film Review. I'm your host, James DiVirgilio, and on this episode, we'll take a look at Florida's offense versus Arkansas's defense. Coming into this game, Arkansas's defense was a middling defense in the SEC, excellent at rushing the passer, weaker at other areas, but certainly a defense that had performed at the average level, if you will. And Florida's offense, of course, has been all over the place during the season, but at home, they generally have played better. And in this particular game, Florida's offense would certainly play well enough to win. They unfortunately are going to spot Arkansas a 7 spot here as we look at the first play. But outside of that, scoring 33 points against an Arkansas team that generally does not give up that many would be a good enough day at the office to win. But as the story has been with Florida, it's an offense, defense, and special teams game. Rarely, if ever, in the Napier era have all three of those areas done well at the same time. And the defense continuing to give up explosive plays hurt this team. Florida missing an extra point, missing a field goal at the end to win, of course, hurt this team. The offense allowing some short field scenarios for the defense hurt this team. So there's a lot more to it than just looking at things reductively. But performance-wise, the offense, of course, did perform well enough to win this game. This game was a coin flip coming into it. It became a coin flip all the way into overtime, and Arkansas, of course, winds up walking out of the swamp a winner. As always, if you like this content, like this video, sub to this channel, follow us on social media, check out our podcast where each and every Monday we bring you in-depth analysis on the Gators, and support us on Patreon where you can drop us a dono that allows us to continue to create more content like this for you during the season and in the off season. Okay, without further ado, let's unfortunately take a look at this first play of the game. It's a concept that Florida has run before, of course, and this really reminds me the most of Florida liking to run the split zone and then this same little slip-out screenplay. But in this case, I like this concept. We've talked about this, whether it's Trey or Ricky. If you are going to immediately have a linebacker or a nickelback who is not chasing your receiver, then it's just an easy play. It's an extended handoff to go ahead and throw this out here and take your leverage, right? You are out leveraging him. It should be an auto call. Do it all the time. So nice work here at the open for Florida. I like this play. Good concept, easy play. This is taking candy from a baby, so to speak, and then we're going to get a first down on first down. Maybe not. Okay, we're going to get stopped short. No big deal. I'll take 9 yards. Nope. Number 11's got other plans. I'm going to take that football. It's going to bounce right into my arms, and I'm going to finish this for a score. Ugh, what a start. Arkansas drives right down the field in the defense, and now they get a one-play touchdown on the offense, and Florida's immediately in a 14-0 hole. Florida is not an offense like really all other offenses that wants to be in 3rd and 9. But as other offenses don't want to be in 3rd and 9, Florida really doesn't want to be in 3rd and 9. Not a place where they're going to excel. Florida's going to get man-to-man defense here. Opportunity perhaps for them to win versus man. Let's see what Florida chooses to run. We're going to go hitch route right here on the edge with Trey. Corner route over here. And really what Florida's looking for is the go route, the fade route here to Khalil. Clean pocket, good throwing surface. Tries to go back shoulder, which is a right idea here. Khalil's actually won this route, so Graham could have gone for a home run here, but I like the back shoulder throw. This is indefensible. Anywhere near his body here is going to be a big chunk yardage completion. Unfortunately, Graham just misses the throw. I like the idea, though. I think the idea is there on 3rd and 9. Going to be a nice chunk play, easy yards, good lineup. Got to execute that there. Florida does not, and we start off 14-0. Next possession is a punt. After a good punt return, Florida gains 8 yards, setting up 3rd down and 2. Florida going to run a little split zone here. This is a bedrock play of Billy's rushing offense. If you followed the channel at all, you've seen this, 100 times by now. I show it to you because it's a 3rd down. 3rd downs are obviously important, high leverage downs. Here comes Arliss here in the split zone. ETN here, can go here, his choice. You're going to see the defense collapse here. They've watched film too. They know that Florida runs this a lot. And now he's going to take his chances here, of course, with the players way off the line of scrimmage. Make a move, get the first down, move the sticks. Here's a concept I really like. We've talked about this on film all year long on this pod, hoping to see more of this. We really wanted to see it versus Georgia, as I think one of the best ways to attack Georgia is to pass versus their linebackers with your running backs or tight ends. And in this case, here comes Trey across the field. This is going to be Montrell here. He's just going to run a seam go. Arlett's going to fan out here, run the same thing, and then Hanson's going to run off guys in here. So I like the timing of this as you have your two goes with kind of your creaser, if you will, here. This is first, this is first. You give yourself a chance for them to mess this up, which they do. They mess that up. Now we have Montrell running completely free here. We've got a free rusher coming in off the edge, but the timing here is right to hit Montrell. Montrell's wide open. Let's put a good ball on him. This ball's not a great ball, but he was under duress. It's certainly catchable, but it's a tough catch for a running back here. And Montrell's got this right. He's secured. Then a big hit comes right here. So Arkansas, nice job finishing the play. Easily, right? Close here to being, of course, a fumble. 25 years ago, that probably is a fumble and a touchback. In this case, it's not. But I like this design. It's a solid design. Why? Because you all know how much I like 2-on-1ing droppers. Safeties, corners. I like 2-on-1ing deep players on the field. I think that's maximum EV. That's what happens here. He's 2-on-1. He can't be right, in large part because you made these guys wrong with your play design. Right now, if they got this right, they'd have run with him. This would not have been the case. But linebacker coming out quickly. Florida does not do a lot of this. In fact, for a lot of you, you're probably surprised to see this because Florida has not done this, generally speaking, all that often. They have done it before, but this is not something that when you turn the film on, you see all the time, like, for example, Billy's flood concept. So Florida should hit here, does not hit, and we set up third down. 3rd and 7, Florida wants to get a touchdown, not a field goal here. I like the route combinations. You're going to get a dig from Ricky, get a post here from Khalil, and you're going to get an out and up right here from Trey. Classic combination, really, really good one that Spurrier himself favored, especially with the dig post, right? Regardless here, what I love about this the most, this is a dime by Mertz on this play. It's a dime to Trey. Let's watch this in action. There comes your dig. There's your post, and there's your out and up. Watch Trey right here. Focus on Trey. Set up the out. Face cut. It's exactly what you want. You want to give your quarterback a target to the side. We're going to run off the defender right here to create this spatial window. Clean pocket here by the O-line. Nice job. We know that Arkansas rushes the passer well. It's 3rd and 7. Nice job by the O-line. Nice pocket. And this ball is a dime. I mean, that is a great throw. Trey walks in the end zone. No contact. Really, really nice throw. Really nice catch. Good design. Good route combo. Quality stuff from Florida. And they cut their deficit to 7. Florida's defense holds. 14-7 now. Got the ball back. Good field position right here. Gotta love this. Let's see if we can cash in. We got the ET package in. ETN and Trey. ET phone home. Let's go. Take us to the box right here, right? I think if you're Florida, you want to see the usage rate be much higher than what they're currently getting with ETN and Trey. I think you're looking for 30, 40, 50% of your touches going to these guys if you can. Right now, they're between 10 and 15% of the touches. And that, to me, is just not enough, given that Florida does not have a lot of dynamic playmakers on offense outside of these two guys, at least that are touching the ball right now. Simple inside zone. This play is going to work because of the execution here by Leonard and Kingsley. Nice double here at the point of attack. Peel off. Let's take care of the linebacker and seal him. There it is. Now ETN is going to use his quickness to hit this excellently sweet gap we have right there. Then we're going to make a man miss. Here we go. We're off to the outside. There it is. We're out riding out. There's Trey. There's ET. ET's phoning home. Let me get on the action right here. A little blockade. Not me. I didn't do anything. It's not me. I'm cool. And ETN's off to the races, right? Huge gain there from Florida on the simple inside zone play. Momentum meter now sliding heavily towards Florida. 3rd and 6. ET package still in. We talked about this play, actually, on the podcast with Georgia running it. Of course, other teams run this. We have not seen Florida run this too often in the Billy Napier era. We're going to get a motion here from Trey, and he's going to stop and reverse. So here it is, motion in, stop. This is the guy chasing him. Then we're going to run off Ricky here to give space. And now ideally, I think I'd rather have Trey, turning the other way if possible, but forget it. Ball goes out to him. Now we got to turn awkwardly. Yeah, that's why I'd like him turning the other way, right? Imagine he comes in here and then runs this where he steps out and then is not turning that way. Anyway, less ideal. Regardless, he makes a move by outrunning him to the pylon, touchdown. Unfortunately, flag. So we're going to have to run this play again. And on the next play, we get a concept, of course, I love, because all of you know how much I love rub routes versus man. They are my favorite. I think it's really hard to make a case not to run them every time you get man in some regard. And here's a simple one that works really well. You know that you have this matchup right here. If you're Florida, what can you do? Well, let's just run a rub. Let's put Khalil up in here. He's really not running a route, right? Juke around, whatever. Just occupy this guy and then make him go way over the top. See how far over the top he's going? Because Khalil's pushing his guy back. Look, pushed him back. Push him back, push him back, push him back. Now he has to run the extra distance there. And then all Mertz has to do is throw this ball right here. And we're walking in the end zone. Absolutely great stuff. Very simple. Second touchdown on the day for Trey. Florida in business, 14-14. 14-14, now it feels like a good time for Florida to go into 12 personnel. Let's not have Trey in the game anymore. That's not ideal. And let's not have ETN in the game anymore. Let's instead bring in 2 tight ends. Let's have Arliss in the game. And it looks like in this case, it's going to be Hanson in the game at tight end. Florida, of course, uses a plethora. And then Khalil Jackson, who's always going to wind up being here in receiver, along with Ricky. Now, Florida did not have a lot of success in 12 personnel in this game. And that obviously, I think, hurt them at times, especially as we enter this portion of the game into the early third quarter. Florida's kind of stalls on offense. And again, Florida switches from what they really were doing early and goes more to this. Now, Arkansas is going to counter this by putting 8 guys in the box. And they're ready for what Florida wants to do. And right away, we're going to lose some battles up front. And Montreal's going to get contacted 3 yards back in the backfield and basically claw his way back to line of scrimmage for a short gain on first down. On 2nd and 7, let's stay in that package. Same concept here, 12 personnel. We got 2 tight ends. This time tight ends opposite sides of each other. Inside zone. Just kidding. Fake to Ricky for a couple of yards, right? And that's the idea Florida wants to run here, is obviously to be a successful team in 12 personnel. And 12 personnel can be great. Don't get me wrong. It doesn't matter whether you're in 11, 10, 12. What matters is who you have on your team, what your identity is, and what you're good at. So the personnel itself is not the dictator. But Florida, I think if you have a weak offensive line, which Florida generally does, you have tight ends who are not plus blockers at this stage of the game. And then you have receivers who no one fears. No one fears Khalil Jackson or Ricky running one-on-one routes against them vertically, at least not consistently. And so if you can't pass protect for a long time, if these guys don't strike fear into the hearts of the defense, I'm not sure what you get with this on this current team, but what you're hoping to do is run some play-action plays and then get some easy yardage. The other thing is most teams know, as all of you know from watching film review, that almost all of Florida's play-action fakes go which direction? To the right. Florida almost never rolls a play action to the left, which, by the way, you can do that. There's no law that says you can't do that, but Florida, I guess, does not subscribe to that. So we're going to run a play that is on film a gazillion times, and there it goes. We're going to roll out to the right and stick that throw there. And again, we pick up, a yard or two, but I think for 12 personnel, Florida tends to be pretty pedestrian, and they switch to that gear, and now they face a 3rd down and long in their own zone. Now that it's 3rd down, we'll come out of 12 personnel. We'll bring in the ET package again. Trey moving across. You're in man. So you've heard me say this before. Again, my preference is if I know that I have man. If I'm manned over here, do you see a safety over here? No, you do not. You don't see a safety. It's 3rd down and 6. There's no safety. Let's get after these guys, right? Let's take advantage of this. Florida instead is going to opt to run a screen here. I think that's less desirable. Again, I especially think with Trey. So far, no one has really been able to cover him man-to-man on almost any route combination he's run. But for now, we're going to be content to run a screen. Now, this screen can work. We're trying to get him to come up in here, which we do. And now we got to block this guy. And we're going to miss. One more time. Let's look what's going on here. So right tackle. This is George. Alabama product. Comes out. He's going to whiff entirely. Whiff entirely right here. And then you can see Kingsley is just going to get cast aside. And whoop. I mean, look. Let me tell you what's not a good look. That is some grown man strength right there. He just cast aside Kingsley like he is nothing. Look at that. That's how you shed a block, by the way. Anyway, we need a block here. That doesn't really matter. This matters. We need a block right here. A block right here, and ETN is going to get this 1st down. So that's why it's like I can say, hey, I'd like to run some vertical concepts, but also this can work. Football comes down to basic blocking and tackling. That is a true statement. That is a thing people say because it's real and it's true. You got to execute. So if Florida has a better offensive line, they can block this. And if they can block this, you get your premier player with a touch that's risk-free, and he's going to split through this gap right here and run head-on at a safety coming downhill. You'll take that chance every single day of the week. And instead, that's going to go for punt time. 3rd and 6, and Florida's not going to convert here, playing man defense, as you can tell, despite the fact that Ricky is going to torch his man and be absolutely wide open because Barber is going to get beat on this inside step pretty much right away. This is not going to work. So the route combinations here are going to work. Ricky, that's open. Now he's wide open, right? We're going to run him off. I like this. Clear this out. We're good to go. If we can not have this coming through here, if that does not come through there, if that's blocked, then Mertz is able to stand there and get right to here and deliver this super easy pass to Ricky for what's going to be a huge play, by the way. That's going to be chunk yardage. And instead, as we've seen with Florida's offense, unfortunately, this O-line is hurting them. And it doesn't look like it's going to get a ton of help soon unless Florida is able to close much higher on O-line recruits to finish the recruiting season. And this continues to be a major weakness for this team. There's not an immediate solution to unless Florida can hit significantly in the transfer portal. Of course, we do have 2 freshmen who are blue chippers. But again, Florida, I think it's their biggest area of need recruiting-wise and obviously team-wise here on the O-line. And this time it pays. It pays out for the defense again to play against Florida's O-line here. They do not hold up on even 3rd and 6, which is not 3rd and 10, long enough to hit this pass to Ricky, which would have been a big completion right there. 2nd and 4 now for followers of the film review. You know that I enjoy the quick game. You also know that when Florida runs these 3x1s, oftentimes we ignore the one-man side, which bothers me because why? This is a great opportunity. You got a safety way over here. You can run whatever the heck you want on this guy. Anything you want. And a good way to open this guy up for future plays is to hit some quick game. Now, we have not seen Florida do this enough, in my opinion, to be able to start running things like a slant and go or a hitch and go or out and ups that will work with precision. You got to work this corner enough times where he gets sick of having a slant route caught in front of him or a quick game route in front of him where you can pump that and get an easy 6. Florida will go to this. It happens. It's going to happen here. I'm going to show it to you because I like the idea of this quick game. This is going to be a 1-step drop. Again, you can do a 0-step drop. It's a 1-step drop, load up, and deliver, right? As long as Mertz sees this guy go backwards right here on hike, he goes backwards at all. He knows he's comfortable with this throw. He can't come downhill. Stick it on him. I like how we're facing this way. We've talked about this before in the film review at times. In fact, last time we saw this play, we had Khalil sort of more of a hitch type posture, but now he's actually open to where if this defender was a little bit further back, he can make a move. Even as it stands now, he gets the extra yak. So check for the quick game. Check for not play faking this. That's 2 checks. Check for having the receiver open up this way. And then check for the yak. That's going to be 4 checks on this play. I like that. Let's keep that going. Florida's not having a lot of success in this game on 1st and 2nd down. They're making things hard on themselves. 3rd and 7. Not in man. Notice the posture here of Arkansas. Not in man defense. So information there for Florida. Florida then knows this bunch set is going to be in good shape. This is information you want to utilize, and they run a bunch set here that I like. Why? Because I like the traffic we're getting right here. We're going to pull him out into the flat with Arliss. We're going to widen this up enough so this linebacker who knows he needs to look at the release of this bunch, open up, watch the release is what he's doing right now. His eyes snap to the inside. Whoever comes in, he needs to cover. He sees that's going to be Trey. Trey, though, is going to run a route that allows him to be right here, opening up on the hitch. Graham then needs to put this ball to the outside shoulder, which is what he's going to do. Clean pocket. This cannot happen without a clean pocket. Look at that pocket. Easy throw for a quarterback here. It's about a 10-yard pitch and catch in your sleep to the outside shoulder, right? Stick this ball right to the outside shoulder. That is absolutely perfect. Zone guy can't get him. Zone guy can't get him. Split the zone. We're off to the races. Picking up some yak. Nice work there by the offense. 1st and 10, good part of the field here to take a shot as Florida's down 3. Out of the pistol, play fake, and we are off. Khalil Jackson's going to run an over route here, and Ricky's going to run a corner post route here. We've seen him get open on these routes before. He's going to be open again on this route, not in a way that you can throw it over the top. Nice clean pocket, by the way. Offensive line doing a nice job here. Clean pocket. Do whatever you want. Easy ball here, 1st and 10. And this ball, when I say he's open, you're looking at me thinking, what are you, crazy? He's completely covered. He is completely on top of this route. That's a great job. One of the benefits of running play action on 1st and 10 is Florida has pulled all of the underneath defenders out of the play. It's one reason why play action is such a great concept. You do not have anyone dropping into that lane. Like, these guys are all just dysfunctional players. They're out of the play, meaning there's nobody here for 25 yards. So since he's on this side of Ricky, he actually has downside leverage where all Graham Mertz needs to do on this post route is throw this ball into Ricky's body. Basically, Ricky is going to catch this ball right running shallow, if you will. It's a short throw where the defender cannot come through him to catch it. They're both running on this line. You put the ball out here shorter. Ricky will make an adjustment to it like this and catch the football. Instead, Mertz overshoots this. We saw him do this before this season. That's an opportunity for a big play. Secondarily speaking, something we've also talked about is Florida just would put options in on these routes, on these play action routes, that give their receivers the option to say, look, if you're Khalil right here and you see this guy, right, you see him just bail, which is what happens. I'm going to roll off the screen here. Khalil has nobody within 20 yards of him, and the safety is completely bailed out. So you can basically time this up to watch Mertz's foot here. You can pretty much tell Khalil at this point right now, so you get 15, let's say it's at 15. At 15, Khalil, you decide. If the safety's bailed way out, slam on the brakes and hitch. And Ricky can always run his post route. That's still a viable route combination, right? But that way you give him the option to sit right there. And if he does, he's completely wide open. And Florida's going to pick up a lot of yards. It's also going to cause teams not to do what teams do now, which as soon as they get this play action, it's bailing out to the areas Florida most likely runs these routes to. And it's working for them. So I'd like to see Florida incorporate that in the future. But for now, this play could have been here. Mertz needs to throw this ball shallow. Does not happen. Every couple of games, we've got to have a offsides by the opposing team when Florida runs the thing that I cannot stand, which is this. Why, if we have a free play, do we not just block? Like, what in the world are we doing here, right? We could have had a free play, and we also could block these guys and get more time. Regardless, Mertz is going to make a hero play here. Roll out to the outside. He's great rolling out to the right. Look, the guy's great rolling out to the right and complete this pass for a first down to Arliss. So we'll take that. That's a free play and a first down. Moving the sticks, down 3. This is not going to be the first time you're going to see this in this football game. In fact, it's going to loom large in overtime. But for now, here you go. Montrell's going to motion out. No one chases. Oh, wait, just kidding. We got a chaser. They try to kind of delay this. Take a look, Witch. They try to wait a second. They're trying to time this up to get these guys home. Okay, look, we're in man. We're in man. Now, Mertz knows they're in man. Very nice. Very nice. Look, chill. He's like, cool, chill, cool, fake, cool. All right, they're in man. This is good. This is what you want. Because it's 3rd and 5. If you've watched Channel for a while and they're in man, what do you think Florida's going to run? And again, if you guess double slant, you would be correct. Good guess by you. Now, if you're Mertz, you can go whichever way you want in this situation because you've got 6 guys here and it's, pretty symmetrical. I think pre-snap right away, though, you do have more space to the top of your screen. So if I'm playing quarterback here, I have more space to this side. Now, it'd be important to know which end do they typically drop, which linebacker tends to stay home more. These are things I don't know. You'd have to know. As a quarterback, you'd want to know. But regardless, spacing-wise, I like to look up here rather than down here to Arliss. This is Arliss. I've got Trey up top. I've got Ricky up here. I like that look, especially like Trey on anyone right now, right? Feed him the ball. We're going to open up. And this is the end that's going to drop. So Arkansas thinks Florida wants to go to Arliss, the tight end, because Florida does a lot of that to Arliss. They like to run big plays to Arliss, and they would be correct. So here is him dropping in this window, which is definitely going to mess up the vision and throw here to Arliss. But take a look at Ricky. You think that's a win? That's a win. That's a layup on 3rd and 5. He's already at the first down. This guy's no chance of covering him. Take a look at Trey. You think that's a win? That's a win. No way he's covering that. Let's watch this roll out. I mean, Ricky is wide open. No one's there. No one's in his face. Now, look, I know that we have the benefit of post-snap knowing where the guy dropped. I gave you the info before to say just spacing alone would tell you You have more space up here for this throw. You also have better players up here. No offense to Arliss, but I think anyone listening to this would rather throw it here to Ricky or to Trey right now, and Arliss would be your third option, I think, on this playlist, if not your fourth option here, depending on how you feel about Khalil. Regardless, it's our first option. We're going right to it, and this would work. This would be fine. He's also open, right? Keep in mind, except you get the dropper, and that is why modern defense likes to do exactly what you see here, which is have this guy drop. It's an elegant way to try to stop these slant routes that teams like to run so effectively. And of course, you really can't know as a quarterback who's doing that. They could have done the same thing on this side where they could have just brought him here and he could have stepped back. But that's why I think it's really important on these double slants. And this is on the quarterback line. This is totally on Mertz, by the way. It's double slants on either side. As a quarterback, you got to trust your O-line. I know. Trust Florida's O-line. This is a zero-step drop. You don't need much. It's a one-step here for Mertz, but it can be a zero. It's a one-step drop. If you see a dropper, you have time to then still hit this one, right? Same thing if you go up here. That's your counter. It's why it's double slant, because you can watch the dropper. If he drops in that window, then hit this window, right? Hit your second window. You have both of them. Instead, he tries to get it in there. He does almost get in there. Arliss almost has this ball right here, and then he loses it after contact. Arliss right now does not catch the ball well into contact. It's something I think you want to see him work on for the rest of the season, into the season. But a crucial 3rd and 5 where Florida wants a tutty. They got to settle for a field goal. 3rd and 1, we've got the wild Montrell. This has not necessarily worked very well for Florida, but we're going to it here again. And a little zone read action. We don't really even fake the zone read. I kind of like this. You're going to bring the jet sweep in here, but we're really just going to run it. And then here you go, straight ahead, contact, unblocked man. You got to beat him one-on-one, drive the legs, and we do just enough there to get the first down. All right, 1st and 10, similar concept here that we saw before, except Florida's in 12 personnel. This is not exactly as threatening. 12 personnel here. No Trey in the field, no ETN on the field. But at the top of your screen, you have one-on-one again. Safety down low in the box. So you have one-on-one, top of your screen, 1st and 10 with Khalil Jackson. Again, I think no offense to Khalil. This guy's got great hands. He's playing well. But imagine you have a top-end explosive receiver out there who's really a threat vertically. Khalil played quarterback in high school, by the way. I think it's really admirable what he's doing here at Florida. But imagine if a guy is really feared over here. You might have a safety who's sitting further off, which creates space. And if he's sitting like this, you certainly work this one-on-one matchup, right? Well, Florida's going to try to run a screen here anyway, despite the fact that this is not a good look to run this screen. These guys are close in the box. Yes, you are 3-on-2, but they're so close to the line of scrimmage here. Not going to be easy to block them. And there you go. So we saw Florida earlier work the quick game over here to Khalil. This time they try to run a screen play into the boundary, short side of the field. And that's going to go for a whole lot of nothing. Thankfully, incomplete, so Florida does not lose yards. Another 3rd and long here for Florida. Arkansas has played a lot of man in this game. Looks like they're playing man yet again, and they are. Let's hit some of those rub routes like we do in the red zone. Give me some of that. What are we going to do here on 3rd and 10? Let's find out. We're going to run. Ready for it? Prepare yourself for it. Here you go. Going to run a hitch. Going to run a little drag. Going to run a little hitch. A little drag. We're going to run a slot fade. We're going for the slot fade. This is an all or nothing play here, essentially. Slot fade. That's what Graham wants. Of course, he could hit something underneath here, too. But all the rest of these routes are underneath. This is a clear out route. He's pushing out of the way for this route here. 3rd and 10. A little pressure on the face. Going to lob one up there. And that's well covered. I mean, look, this is not there, right? We're just taking a shot on 3rd and 10. Take a shot. Does not fit it in there, and Florida's off the field. So it's 17-17. Florida answered back quickly. And then once we got to the end of the first quarter, start of the second, we've really stalled. Florida's offense really stalled now, just 3 points on the board. Not a lot of touches to ETN or Trey as this game hangs in the balance. Yet another 3rd and long. Graham Mertz out of the game for this one play. What does Florida do? Just hand it off, run a slip screen here, run any kind of screen, do something tricky. Tough situation here, of course. Florida's going to go with the inside zone. This play is going to be stuffed by Arkansas. That's a tough call. I think ideally you don't want to be in 3rd and 12 there, right? Ideally, like 3rd and 3, 3rd and 4, 3rd and 5. You probably let Max throw the football. You try to move the sticks. But 3rd and 12, you're pretty much just giving up a punting. And Florida, again, another drive gets stopped. And that is, of course, here we are, still hanging, down 2017 now, going significant possessions, really just not having any continuity or flow in the offense. We got to get it going here to keep up with Arkansas. Arkansas misses a field goal, so Florida's still down just 3 here in the third quarter. Out of the pistol, we're going to run a play fake and then have the running back right here in Montrell come out here and foot race the linebacker right there. Nice play design, very simple. The play fake there works. Montrell's off to the races, and 2nd and 7 yields a first down for the Gators, moving across midfield. If you're noticing that most of these third downs are 3rd and 7, 3rd and 10, 3rd and 9, 3rd and 8, you would be correct. Again, it's kind of amazing that Florida's offense wound up scoring as many points as it did, given the reality of how long they were in 3rd and long. Motion here from Arliss. Notice that, again, Arkansas is in man. What does Florida want to do? We've seen this before. How do we want to attack this man defense? We're going to attack it with a running back screen to Montrell. Khalil's coming across. He's supposed to be blocking here. He's going to fake that, and then come up here to block this. So we're essentially going to leave anyone that comes from the interior unblocked while trying to get George out here, blocking here. Need a block there, and then we need to get upfield. Unfortunately, that is not a block. That is a tackle. And 3rd and 7, we take an L, take a loss. But again, the idea here is to get George on the corner, a much smaller player who, if he can even just touch and get his hands on, we can be a business. Just chuck him out this way and then turn up this way, and we're down. Now, obviously, all of you know on 3rd and 7, I don't love that play design versus man. I'd much prefer to do other things, but we go for it, and we get denied again for the second time on a running back screen on 3rd down versus man in the game. All right, 1st and 10, Ricky getting the matchup that he wants to get because of this motion. Florida's going to bring Arliss in motion, and watch how Arkansas handles this. There's the communication from the corner. He's going to take Arliss, which sets up Ricky this time on a safety. Love that. Ricky's done very, very well versus safeties. That's what you want to see. Let's take advantage of this. He's got a free run at the safety. No one's going to chuck him, get in his way, move him off his route. Free release. There's your free release. Everything you want so far. Corner, post. One of his best routes right here. And step to the corner off your screen right there. There he goes. Snap to the corner. Go to the post. Mertz IDs the safety. Make sure that middle safety stays to the left. Move him off the hash with his eyes. And just before he's going to get hit because Barber loses in the speed rush, he gets this off right there just before. And because he held right here, this safety over there with his eyes, he creates this window. And there is the window, very similar, of course, to the game-winning play versus South Carolina. Ricky goes up high and catches it and then finishes the play, showing some strength here to get into the end zone for a tutty. Touchdown Gators. They take the lead late in the third quarter. Just a simple extra point here, nothing to see. I'm putting this in here by accident. I never show extra points. Oh, no, not the special teams again. Snap comes in a little low. Holders typically handle this, though, right? It's a tough job being a holder. I think it's often very underappreciated. Some of what these guys do is pretty fantastic. It's Florida's punter, Jace. And yep, that's not going to work. And I'm going to roll out and hope that maybe we can get a tutty here to Pyburn. Pyburn thinks he's got something. He kind of does actually have something, but we're going down. And that is going to be huge, as we all know what happens with overtime. So that would have changed the game. That simple extra point would have changed the game. Instead, Florida's only up a field goal and not 4, and that is rough. 1st and 10 for Florida. One of Billy's classic plays here that he likes to run on 1st down is going to work out of the pistol. Unfortunately, Mertz is going to make the wrong read. There's your play action. And here's what you have. You have an out route from Arliss, and you have a post route from Khalil. So a two-man route combo with a check down. Again, kind of the classic Billy special on 1st down, if you will. Now, we run different routes out of this, but this one's run all the time. It's going to work this time because the corner here is dropping off, and the opposite safety here is going to bail, and he's basically reading the release of the number 2. It's number 1 right here, number 2 right here. And if number 2 goes vertical, he's going to take him. If he comes over here, he's going to help out. And that's what he's doing. So he's going back here to help out on that. And then they are bringing their safety down in here into the action, and we caught them with the right play call because now he has to get back and cover Arliss. Now take a look at this right now. Freeze frame it. He cannot cover Arliss. It's already dead. Now, Mertz in one window should already see this. The first thing he should do is read high to low. He should read the top and see that the corner is on top of his post route with Khalil. That's the first thing you should see. Now, you could argue you can still throw it in there because, of course, this safety right here is the guy dropping way over here to get to Khalil. But most importantly, take your chunk yardage when you have it. You know he's already on top. Look at the posture. He's already leaving. He's on top of that route. This guy can't cover, right? So right away, he says, okay, he's on top of that route. Read down. What's my next look like? Okay, great. He is gone. This guy can't get there. I have tons of green grass and a vacating dropper. Put this ball right now, step up, good protection, step up right now, sling this ball to the space. I've got a massive play, and there it is. There's Arliss. There's no one else here, as you're going to see. Whoop, right there. So imagine this ball gets thrown to Arliss. He turns the corner. If he is faster than this safety, it is a touchdown. If not a touchdown, this guy makes a play, probably on the 10-yard line. Easy, easy play. Instead, Mertz goes for this one. Not going to be there. Overthrows it on all of them, and Florida misses a chance on first down. All right, 3rd down and 9. If you had 3rd down and 8, 9, 10, 11, or 12 on your bingo card, you hit a lot of numbers during this game. This play right here brings me some personal joy because, of course, we talked about it directly on the Georgia game with ETN, with the game on the line on 4th down and 3, how they should have run a halfback middle route, given how Florida tends to run wheels in the past, not so much in ability, but in general, halfback middle route, really good one, especially if you're in man, especially if you're quicker. So now we're going to bring Trey into here. And again, this is some Miami Dolphins style stuff here, some Mike McDaniel type stuff. Other teams do this too, right? But either way, here is what is going to happen. We are going to move him here. And now we're going to clear this out with Arliss. Going to run this off here and get our matchup man-to-man. So look, right away, traffic. This is traffic. Although all Arliss is doing is running a drag, these guys are hitting each other by alignment. And look how open Arliss is, actually. On 3rd and 9, look at this. Just watch Arliss for a second. He is wide open. I mean, look at that. He's taking off, right? He's getting the first down. He's getting big yardage. But this play is designed for Trey. Trey's the primary. I'm cool with that. And we are going to run this halfback middle route. So you're going to get a similar action to what we saw. Notice how he's supposed to go over the top of this, just like we saw with ETN in the Georgia game. He's going to go over the top, and that means if he cuts us back to the middle, he can't be right. Now, it just so happens they hit each other, even better, right? And now his momentum is stopped going backwards, and look how easy this pass is. This is 3rd and 9, by the way, and not 4th and 3. This is super simple. Put it on him, which he does. Put it on him right here. We're off to the races, and then there goes Trey, picking up some chunk yardage for a big play on 3rd and 9, and then almost fumbling, but thankfully not fumbling. Again, another potential turnover. Could have been one, wasn't one. So Florida dodges a bullet there. But regardless, halfback middle route. Love that route combination, especially versus man. And we continue to see on film that teams cannot cover Trey in man, which I think demands that when teams play man, you have got to look at him as the primary on virtually every play until he's bracketed or proves that someone can cover him. Because so far, all that guy is doing is generating tons of space. Use the rub out combos, use it for Trey, make him your guy, and then feed the ball to your playmakers. 3rd and 7 now in the red zone. A touchdown sure would be nice. Man-to-man. Here's ETN. I, for one, would also just like to see them run some man-to-man routes with ETN. That's just me. Run some rub routes and let him get free. I think I like this matchup a lot. I mean, tell me you don't. I like it. Regardless, we're going to run a slant wheel here for Khalil. And we're going to get this wrong again, in my opinion. There's different ways you can run slant wheels. I understand that. I'm just going to say I shouldn't say wrong. Let me restate that. We're not going to do it the way I would prefer to run a slant wheel based on what we've talked about before. If you've seen this on film reviews before, then you already know what I'm going to say. I think the best way to run this, of course, is to get the slant deep enough into here so that your timing works so that this guy is going to be impeded by your slants route, right? That's what you want, which means I don't think you teach your receivers, hey, just at 3 or 4 slant. I don't do that. What I want to do is I want to be getting into the feet of this gentleman here, and I want to be reading the break here. So I'm going to be keeping my eye on how far he's sitting back, and I want to be keeping my eye on him so I can time my breakup. So if I'm ETN, I'm going to go further, and I want this guy to ride right around ETN. His job is to ride right around ETN. ETN sets the depth. He rides around ETN, and then you set up the best case scenario. The problem with this is what you're going to see. This, although a good concept, does nothing to help each other. Nothing is helped here. They do not get in the way of this route, which is what you like to do for ETN, and they do not get in the way of this route. Both of these routes are shut down. That's very good coverage. There's really no window there, and that play is going to be incomplete. I agree with Khalil. A lot of hands were in this game. There certainly could have been some more calls here. There's a lot of contact here as he's going up for the ball. He does not get a call. But this channel does not exist to talk about officiating, which humans are going to mess up all the time. No matter who you're a fan of, you probably think the officials suck. Well, there's good reason for that. Officiating is hard, and oftentimes it's not very good. Either way, the point of this is I think these slant wheels can be drastically improved if we get this right. So here, slant here, come underneath your slant and around this way. Time it up as I talked about. I think you can find more there. I like that we're going for this here. I like this idea. I like putting ETN out here. I like all of it. But we got to clean up, I think, the execution here, especially because I think down the road, I'd primary this for ETN on this slant route. I'd make him the primary and say, here's what I want from you, Khalil. I'm going to have ETN now set up, right, off of you. So ETN comes up here like this, and now we're going to set this up for ETN by having Khalil time this so that ETN then comes under him for this primary look, right? That would be my goal as the secondary. So if you're trying to spring the wheel, you want the wheel to come underneath. And if you're trying to spring the slant, you want the slant to come underneath for the same reasons. But in the case of the slant coming underneath, I know I'm killing this here as far as a lot of verbiage, but regardless, if you want the slant to win, you want your slant to push this guy back as far as you can, allowing your wheel to get into him. So push, 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 push. The wheel's coming. Keep pushing him, slant. Easy. There you go. Sorry for the long explanations and lots of drawings. Florida in the 4-minute offense needs to find a way to answer with a touchdown because they do not have that extra point. Looming large here. Things do not feel good, and we're going to get a nice little gift from Arkansas. Notice the posture here. Always important to watch the linebackers. A lot of hands up. Okay, you got this. I got this. Cool. We're good. We're locked in. Except we're not locked in because nobody covers ETN. So again, the ET package is in. We've got ETN. We've got Trey in the game. ET phone home. Let's get some big yardage. And ETN's like, this is what I've been waiting for. I have been waiting for this moment where I get the ball in the open field because I don't often get this. Let's talk about the throw itself. One, notice how, again, we're facing the sideline. Check. That's awesome. We're not facing backwards. We're not drifting backwards. Mertz then throws the ball forwards to where he's facing this way. Forwards, he can open up this way. Check. We've covered that earlier this season. That had not been happening. It's happening right there. We nail this. Now we're head up. Tons of green grass. One-on-one versus a guy that can't possibly tackle ETN. There's your move. Goodbye. Down the sideline. Give me a block. Let's keep the good times going. And I'm rolling, running over a guy. Huge play. It would be great if Florida could get ETN and Trey into space more often. That would be dynamic in the goal, right? You want to get your playmakers into space where they can run head up versus defenders. You get a shot here, and that results in a big play for the Gators. The big play by ETN sets up another play by ETN. Let's go with the ET package right here. Trey's going to come across, and we know teams respect Trey. Notice how everyone is shifting. People respect Trey much more than they respect Ricky on this. We're going to hold here. We're going to pull here. We've pulled all these guys out to this, which means, hey, look, here's our other half of the ET, the E portion. Let's give him a wide zone run right here, and let's watch Ricky. Underrated. Watch Ricky Pearsall block this man. Safety coming down right here. This is going to set the play off. Wham. That makes this play a touchdown. If Ricky does not engage him the way he does, this play is not going to be a touchdown. It's going to be a 2-yard gain, and we're not talking about it. Instead, gets him. Now we have this guy play the outside because he thinks he has a safety that was filling this gap that got blown up, and there he goes. Bye. Jog it on in. 6. Florida back with the lead with 3 minutes left to go. Tied up, not with the lead by 1, not game over. Arkansas would have had to go for it if we had the 34, but tied up at home, needing a drive to get Trey Smack in field goal range, who had played an excellent game. Of course, he's got a 3 on his jersey already, so he should make 3s all the time. Trey Smack the third, 3 on his jersey, should make 3s. Here we go. 33 all. What's the first play we run? How about a jet sweep to Trey? They'll never see this coming with 44 seconds left and no timeouts, by the way. Pretty ballsy. If they get a stop here short, you're just going to go to overtime. So either really conservative or really ballsy. You pick which one. I would say really conservative. But it's going to work out. No timeouts. And then there we go. Off to the races. Arkansas not expecting this. And we get the very important first down to stop the clock. But even better than that, we get more yards when we go out of bounds. So a dream start to the drive for Florida. 2nd and 10 after an incomplete pass. It looks like Arkansas are going to sit in too high, which is going to give you the middle of the field. You want to take that. As long as you're getting first downs, you're okay. Right away, clean release, easy throw from Mertz. He can tell they're giving you this throw. They're going to let you have it. We're going to take it. All we need is a field goal. Arkansas, thank you very much. We'll take you playing super soft and giving us 14 yards for no reason because, again, the clock stops. What are we doing here, Arkansas? I don't know, but we're going to take it. Florida without any timeouts because they used 2 of them calling plays on their own and stopping the clock, which Florida tends to do all the time at random points in the second half, and it's not ideal. Looming large in this one as they have none remaining, but they are moving the sticks again now on the plus side. 2nd and 7, Florida trying to get at least here and get out of bounds or spike the football. There's plenty of time here for them to get up and spike it. Anything can work. Really, this actually tends to be, I think, a good situation for the offense in general. As defensive coordinators, really don't want to give up a huge play. They also feel like, hey, the clock will run. Let's force them to kind of get their field goal operation out. I think it tends to lead DCs to play too conservatively, allowing teams to get the field goal attempt, which is exactly what you actually don't want to do. And let's see how Arkansas plays this exact scenario. We motion across. Notice how no one follows. We know they're in zone. Perfect because we're running a zone-beating route right here. We're going to clear this off. We're going to bring Arliss into here. This linebacker, notice how he opens up. One more time. Arliss, here's your 1. This is your 2. Depending on their roles, and in this case, he's going to look and see, is anyone coming inside? If they are, they're my guy because I'm dropping into this zone. I'm going to ID that. Okay, here's my guy. He's coming into my zone. I'm going to get over here. However, the window, the spacing is not right for this, which means we can hit this. Another reason why I think wide splits are a good idea. Florida moves this here and here. They might get even more space for this play, right? Could be an even bigger play, but regardless, spacing is good here. Now Mertz has got to put a good ball on him, which he does. Notice how he throws to this shoulder. That's the correct shoulder to throw to. That allows Arliss to come out this way. We're off to the races. Let's go get a block right here if you're Khalil. Kind of a touch. And then we're going to run someone over, keep on motoring, don't fumble, let's get down. And we are in great shape because, again, Trey Smack, who does not miss field goals from that distance, is coming in to win the game. And we're going to talk about how it's an ugly win. Things can get better. We got the win. We're bowl eligible. We're going to survive. We're going to hold on to our recruits. Everything's going to be fine. Let's have Trey Smack make the game winner and get out of here. Oh no, what is this? Why are all these players on the field? Why are they running off the field? Why were the kickers on the field? Why was the holder on the field? Mertz wants to know the same thing. Mertz is asking, what the heck is going on? In language that is not what the heck is going on. And he's correct. What is going on? After the game, of course, Napier would say a player is in charge of deciding who comes on. You can decide for yourself if you think that's a good or bad idea. But that player apparently got it wrong. And Florida lucky there's not a 10-second runoff there because the clock was stopped due to the first down stoppage. I think a lot of us in the stands thought that was going to be a 10-second runoff because the first down stoppage is temporary. It was not. So Florida does get the attempt. However, they've got to back up 5 yards, which is going to make a 39-yarder or a 44-yarder, and the math decreases each yard you go back, even for a great kicker like Trey Smack. Also, just generally not a good look for Florida special teams, which once again is making news for all the wrong reasons. Here it is, the fateful field goal to win the game again. For Trey Smack, he's just been absolutely automatic. There's no way he's going to miss this. And unfortunately for him, you're going to see, not on this angle, if you have the other camera angle, he kicks the ground. He kicks the ground just before the ball. And some dirt sprays up, and that is why he pushes this. He does not get the ball first. He gets the ground first, which causes his foot to open up more than normal. And that is why that ball is not right down the middle like normal. It's pushed to the right. Got the ground first, and then it still looked like it was going to go in potentially. I mean, it looks pretty close to being in, right? It's right there. Winds up being a yard or so outside. And the reality is you hit the ground, you stub the ground there. That's what does it. That's pain. Not going to see it on that angle either, but he does stub the ground just before, and there's the look. Oh, man. If you're 5 yards closer and he stubs the ground, probably still goes in. Either way, what a time for Trey Smack's first real miss, right? The other one's a block that wasn't his fault. His first real miss happens right then, and Florida's got to go to overtime. And in overtime, if you guess the first play is going to be a roll out to the right, flood concept, you would be correct. Now, I've said this before, and I'm going to say it again. Florida does not have to run this flood by rolling out Mertz every single time. And I would think, as I've said before, it would be highly advantageous for them, A, to start doing this rolling out the other way. Roll out left one time. It's probably going to be a huge play because nobody thinks you're going to do it since you've never done it. But number two, you don't have to roll out at all. You can flood without rolling out, right? Mertz is not exactly taking off and running on people because teams know Florida does this. And as soon as you bring Trey across, the auto read for almost every team is to bring their unblocked defensive end here and wait to see what is happening and then go get him. And then there it is. We've seen this a million times. If instead, and I'm going to keep saying this, you bring Khalil across right here. We've done this before on this film review. And you sit Mertz here like this, and Khalil cracks this guy, and Mertz is sitting here. You know what you have? This right there. Like almost every time. In fact, if you roll the film on this, you're going to see time and time again, Florida's tight end, no matter who it is literally wide open on this concept all the time, but you can't get it to him because you always have a guy in your face as you're rolling out to the right, and you can't make this throw. But if Florida would just add a few wrinkles into this play, you could make it much more useful. And this is an easy one. Block here, roll here, sit there, stick here. Layup, 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 layup. That will open stuff for you. Florida does not do it. And in overtime, you do not want to start 2nd and 10. That's precisely what we have. The good news on 2nd and 10 is the ET package is in the game. ETN at running back. We need a big play. Split zone coming right here. Got a nice gap. This looks pretty good. This looks really good. In fact, it's going to be really good, except Mazuka. He's lost. He's lost, and he doesn't know, oh no, that's the guy he's supposed to block. This is also pain. This is life as a Florida fan these days, by the way. Like, this play is going to work. This split zone play is going to be big. It's going to be a crease run. Mazuka, his job is to get to the second level. There's only one guy in the second level. And I don't know. I don't. Oh no. Oh no. Imagine he gets blocked. We're riding. He doesn't get blocked. And instead, ETN, although he sheds that tackle, does not have the same head of steam. And 2nd and 10, it's a good pickup of 5. Sets up a manageable 3rd down and 5. But it's still 3rd down and 5, not another 1st down. All right, 3rd down and 6. You've seen this exact play already. Literally already. We talked about it already. We said it was going to loom large in overtime, and here we go again. Man to man. We see that we're in man to man. Let's bring him back in here. We're in man. We're in man. We all know we're in man. This is a great scenario. It's 3rd down and 6. Here's Trey. Has anybody covered Trey man to man on film this season that we have seen? No. This is your guy. This is your dude. This is your dude. Also, nobody can get into your slant window from here unless he pre-snap goes way over there. But you also have 2 reads. Ricky, also, open on the slant earlier. Both these guys open on the slant earlier. You know this because you would have seen it on the iPad on the sideline. Short side of the field here, last time, with Arliss, they dropped in. Here's the play. Mertz opens up. Tell me if you've seen this before. Here we go. He's going to drop back right into the throw lane. There he is. Not going to really affect this throw, but he's going to drop back into the throw. And let's see what we have here on the bottom half of the screen first. Trey making a move. Trey looks pretty open. Ricky looks really open. He's pretty open. One more time. Here's Ricky. Yep, that's easy. That's a dime. Look at this throw window. Whoop. Right? Either way you want. Simple throw. But we're going to Arliss. Arliss is here. He's a big body. Ball's put in his chest pretty nicely, but this is great defense. Great defense. Really tough to catch this one. He has it, and then loses it, unfortunately. And 3rd down and 6 becomes field goal time. But the same exact play Florida ran earlier. They have this on film. Arkansas counters with the same play they ran earlier. And in my opinion, again, I think Florida's got to come here in this situation. Your two best receivers are down here. Arlis has already dropped multiple balls in traffic. You got to ride with your guys right here. These are your guys. Game on the line. Unfortunate. Field goal is kicked. Touchdown scored by Arkansas. Game over. Florida now in jeopardy of not making a bowl, facing a gauntlet down the road. They will have to do something relatively special to get a win, to get themselves to 6 wins and beat the Vegas over-under of 5.5. Either way in this game, 33 points really should have been 34. Certainly felt like it should have been enough to beat Arkansas, but again, the story of Florida football has been all 3 phases don't click at the same time. They kind of tend to hurt each other more than helping each other, and it's just a lot of stuff that is not seemingly working in Florida's way to get these wins. Every win is difficult, and every loss, of course, hard as well. Well, as always, I hope you enjoyed this content and this film review. I look forward to being back with you next week after I break down Florida's performance versus LSU. And as always, I'm your host, James DiVirgilio. Go Gators.